Gilgit, and Sangha. This is a 2-hour session and has a total of 4 presentations. Each presenter will be given 20 minutes to present and are requested to adhere to the allotted time limit. The session is chaired by Professor Kishore Kumar, Chairman, National Monuments Authority, and co-chaired by Shri Hem Sagar Naik, Director, Excavation, Archaeological Survey of India. I will now hand over the session to the chair.
As been told to you, there are 4 distinguished speakers. Let me read out their names. Sri Farooq Haidar Naqvi, Sri Gautam Raj Anand, Dr. Tanima Bhattacharya and Joy Sen. Dr. Joy Sen is present here, and Dr. Puneet Gupta.
Good morning all. I am Farooq Naqvi, a former Indian Air Force officer now living in Australia with a deep passion for architecture and ancient civilization, especially the Indus Valley civilization. My journey to decipher the Indus script began in 2019 with a profound, almost miraculous moment. Since then, I have spent 6 years analyzing thousands of Indus seals. Today, I am proud to present the result of my research through which I have successfully deciphered the Indus script, a breakthrough that brings back a lost language, very likely the script which ancient texts say was created by Brahma himself. And stay with me till the end, because for the first time I will reveal what is actually written on the so-called Pashupati Seal, a mystery that has remained unsolved over a century. On the night of March 21st, 2019, I was reading the travel account of Huensong and browsing in the seal images. I came across a passage where Huensong says Brahma invented a writing system, but upset by how it was misused, he swallowed it. That line struck me. What if the Indus script is the lost script of Brahma? I searched for more information on the Indus script as I scrolled through the images, and there was an image of a bull with 3 lines followed by a trident-like symbol. I said to myself, only the blessing of Imam Hussain could make someone read this script. At that moment, it felt as though a word appeared on the screen with someone saying loud and clear, Aj. I was shaken. All my body hairs stood on end, and I said to myself, it looks like Imam Hussain has given me the key to open the closed lock of the Indus script. Aj literally means to drive, but symbolically it means the one who exists since eternity. Now, discovering just 2 letters of the Indus script wasn't enough to crack the entire code. I needed more systematic approach. That's when another idea came to mind. What if I compared the most frequently used symbols in the Indus script with the most frequently used letters in the Rig Veda, the oldest Sanskrit text? If both scripts came from the same underlying language, then the most common Indus symbol should correspond the most common letters in the Rig Veda. I followed my instinct and decided to use third book of Rig Veda as a sample and wrote down the four most frequently appearing letters. They came out A, M, W, and H. I paused and thought, what a miracle. These letters also represent holy names. The letter A for Allah, M for Muhammad, W for Wali, H for Hassan and Hussein. It felt like the universe was nudging me forward, saying you are on the right track. Next, I prepared a sample of Indus seals using online resources and identified the most frequently appearing symbols in that sample as shown in this slide. Then I mapped the 4 most common Indus symbols in my sample against most frequently appearing letters in the Rig Veda, that are A, M, W, and H. Earlier scholars had commonly assumed the fish symbol in the Indus script stood for M because word for fish in many Indian languages start with M, like Matsya, Machli, Meen, Mahi, etc. But according to my frequency-based method, the fish symbol represented the W sound and the Indus jar symbol represented the H sound. Let me remind everyone that had I selected the complete Indus script corpus rather than just a sample from the internet, I would still have gotten the 2 correct assignments, the fish symbols to W and jar symbol to H. But the miracle gave me an edge by providing few additional symbols. Next, I compared Indus symbols with later scripts like Brahmi and Devanagari. The goal was to find few more Indus symbols through visual similarities which could build up my database. Using a combination of the high frequency letters from my frequency analysis and the visually similar letters, I began creating a symbol to sound correspondence table, basically a working chart to test the phonetic values of the Indus symbols. These assignments were still provisional, they were not final, but they served as a starting point. However, through the use of this provisional table, I was able to read few inscriptions. Just then, my daughter Insia walked in and said, "Dad, what are you doing past midnight? Please go and sleep." I looked the time. It was 1 a.m. I smiled and went to bed, thinking to myself, this is truly a blessing. Within hours, I could read what was unreadable for thousands of years. A major breakthrough came in following weeks when I noticed that the inscriptions on Indus seals often seemed to correlate directly with the imagery. This connection between the image and text opened the floodgates. Suddenly, one inscription after another began to make sense. I started seeing grammar emerge, recognizing patterns, and even identifying a complex vowel system. It felt as though the script had been waiting to be read. Once the right key was found, the layers of meaning began peeling back, revealing a rich, structured language beneath the symbols. One important thing that appeared was whenever a unicorn image appeared on the Indus seal, the inscription related to a horse. Many names of horses appeared on the unicorn seal, including Ashwa, Javan, Vadhab, Hari, and Vah. One might ask a valid question: how could you relate more than 800 inscriptions to a single unicorn? As you will see in this slide, the inscription not only relate to the name of the horse, but also many attributes and qualities such as glorious, splendid, or even chickpea loving animal. We will stop for a moment and go through few seals. As discussed earlier, the inscription on the first seal on the left hand side represents 2 letters A and J. Aj means to drive. The second seal has the modified J symbol and another symbol which, due to its visual similarity to Devanagari, later was considered as the N symbol. The inscription becomes Ajan, which means moving. The third seals include a conjunct made up of a V symbol and R symbol and a double A symbol. The conjunct used in the third seal represent the word Vara. The inscription in the third seals become Varah, which is a name for a bull in Sanskrit and aligns with the image shown in the third seal. The fourth seal include the same Varas and another symbol that consists of 2 J symbols. Hence, the inscription of the fourth seal becomes Varajah, which with a minor pronunciation change become Varagah, a name of an elephant in Sanskrit that aligns with the image depicted in the seal. Let us look at the first line of the fifth seal. The first symbol represents A, the second symbol represents R, the third symbol is H, and the last symbol is a conjunct made up of a V symbol and an N symbol. Hence the conjunct represent 1. The total inscriptions become R1, which is a name for a horse in Sanskrit. Let us look at the sixth seal. This seal has a J symbol to which triple A is added, and the second symbol is 1. The total inscriptions become Ja1, which is another name of a horse in Sanskrit. In the Indus script, 3 small lines represent A, 4 lines represents I, and 5 lines represent U, which we will discuss later. Let us look at the seventh seal. The inscription includes U, R, and H symbols. The inscriptions becomes Urha. A horse with dark leg is called Urha in Sanskrit. Let us look at the eighth seal. The inscription includes triple A, U, R, and H symbols. These inscriptions become Aura, which is another name of a bull in Sanskrit. That also aligns with the image depicted on the seal. Due to time limitations, I am only able to show you the tip of an iceberg to highlight relationship that exists between inscription and image depicted on various seals. Now we summarize our methodology. We assumed Sanskrit being the underlying language to start the decipherment process, carried out frequency analysis that gave 4 most frequently appearing symbols on the Indus script and their corresponding phonetic values. And then we carried out graphical comparative analysis to find out those Indus symbols which are visually similar to character from the later Indian scripts to expand the database. Then we created a primary symbol to sound association table combining 4 most frequently appearing symbols of the Indus script and visually similar symbols. Then we attempted to read inscriptions using preliminary association table. Then we refined the preliminary association table considering text to image relationship that used in the decipherment process. The Indus script has got a full consonant set similar to Devanagari, a large vowel system, and an exceptionally large inventory of conjunct characters. On the right side, you can see how conjunct symbols are systematically built up using consonant and vowels. The Indus script has got half consonants and full consonants, a concept which was passed down to later scripts. Indus script's grammar resembles Prakrit, but vocabulary draws from Sanskrit. Its vowel system reflects pre-Paninian structure with no Sandhi rules. It features a second consonant series similar to Tokharian, lost in later Indian scripts. The decipherment holds up with confidence because it has successfully passed through 4 independent lines of testing, each of which reinforces its validity. These includes internal consistency, cross-verification across seals, adherence of vowel system to recognize phonetic and mathematical principles, and decipherment's ability to reconstruct lost phonemes and recover linguistic knowledge. For example, the name for bull in Sanskrit is Shakwar. Through 3 different methods, we can now prove that the correct pronunciation was Shwakar, not Shakwar. This level of extreme accuracy reinforces the validity of this decipherment. I will now go through a summary of each test in the following slides. The majority of symbols were first deciphered using the unicorn seal as a key context. However, the deciphered symbols consistently held their meaning across different contexts, whether referring to a different animal, various types of deities, or everyday objects. This internal consistency proves that the script follows a coherent linguistic system and also prove the accuracy of this decipherment. One of the most powerful tests of the decipherment was cross-verification across multiple seals. This cross-checking was particularly significant with the Pashupati seal, which I will reveal at the end of the presentation. This seal, along with a second seal from Oliver Hoar's collection, confirms the identity of the deity depicted. The cross-verification solidifies the accuracy of the decipherment. The linguistic structure of the script shows a mathematically consistent vowel system. For instance, the vowel A, I, and U are represented by 3, 4, and 5 small lines respectively. Diphthongs such as A, I, and OW are constructed by combining the base vowels through addition. For example, A is equal to A plus A is equal to 3 plus 3 is equal to 6 lines. I is equal to A plus I is equal to 3 plus 4 is equal to 7 lines. OW, which is made up of A and U symbols, is equal to 3 plus 5 is equal to 8 lines. This logical structured approach points to a carefully planned script rather than an arbitrary collection of symbols. If English were ever lost as a script, it would be nearly impossible to reconstruct because its writing system is not purely phonetic. In contrast, the Indus script could be recovered because it is highly phonetic, logically structured, and in many cases follows a mathematical patterns in how the symbols are arranged. This decipherment recovers ancient phonemes lost over time. It confirms Panini's mention of 9 types of A, 9 types of I, and 9 types of U. Today we have only 2A, 2I, and 2U. The decipherment recovers all forms of A, I, and U. It recovers sounds like a second Y and a forgotten W, supporting theories by linguist Andrew Silher, who had predicted in 1977 the loss of these two sounds in Vedic text by comparing Vedic and Western literatures. This decipherment provides first evidence supporting the laryngeal theory, which had predicted that Proto-Indo-European language had a second H. Over a century ago, archaeologist John Marshall named this seal as Pashupati Seal, linking it to the Hindu god Shiva, who is known as Pashupati, the lord of animals. This interpretation, however, was speculative and has remained unchallenged for the last 100 years. This seal has been deciphered with full confidence. Today I will reveal the first time what is actually written on the so-called Pashupati seal letter by letter. 3, 2, 1. Let us see letter by letter. Bra, ma, mha, he, wa. So the deity depicted on the so-called Pashupati seal is not Shiva, it is Brahma. After a century of speculation, we now know what the inscription actually says. Note that minor pronunciation changes. It was Brahma rather than Brahma. It appears that it might have been the title and not the name because it consists of two words Brahma. Fortunately, there exists a lesser known seal from Oliver Hoar's collection depicting the same deity flanked by two female pouring water on him. Let us read each letter, letter by letter. Let us see each letter. Y, D, with last symbol being Ha, the total inscription becomes Vaideh. Brahma is traditionally credited with handing down the Vedas, and one of his titles is Vedeh, meaning the giver of the Vedas. We can guess identities of two women likely to be Saraswati and Gayatri. Both inscriptions corroborate one another. Consequently, that the figure depicted on both seals is Brahma, who is also known as Prajapati rather than Shiva. After peer review and verification of my research, the seal should be reclassified from Pashupati Seal to Brahma Seal. This groundbreaking decipherment marks a major milestone, transforming the prehistory of the Indian subcontinent into documented history. It significantly alters the established timeline of Aryan migration. This presentation is a brief summary of my full 280-page research, Decipherment of the oldest script in the world. Due to the script's complexity, I extend a formal invitation to all qualified scholars and experts to peer review this work. I fully welcome and will support this process to ensure scholarly rigor and academic transparency. O Allah, bestow your grace, honor, and mercy onto Muhammad and his family, especially to Imam Hussain, for it is through him you have revealed the knowledge that was lost for thousands of years. Thank you, all scholars and attendees. A special thanks to my mother, my brother Ejaz Haider Naqvi, and my daughters Zoya and Insia, and my late wife who passed away 2 years ago. And sincere thanks to Archaeological Survey of India for organizing this event. Thank you very much. If you have any query, please contact me on my email address. I will try to answer and looking forward to hearing from you. Have a nice day. Bye.